והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו, להכבירה, בלי ראשית, עוד בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה.
Shalom. Korach's coup against Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron is quickly brought to a close by godly intervention. Korach, as we know, is swallowed up in the depths of the earth. The 250 people are executed by godly fire from the heavens. There's a plague against the people who went against Moshe and Aaron, a very quick end and very harsh ending to this coup. When all the dust settles, we hear another commandment. Kach beitam mateh mateh levet av. Each tribe should give a staff from each head of the tribe and write the names of each one of the heads on his staff. And Aaron will give a staff. Eventually, the staff of Aaron blossoms into a flowery staff, showing that God has chosen Aaron. At that point, God says, we now will know who is really chosen. Once Bnei Israel see this, all their complaints will cease, and they will no longer die. One more in a series of omens or series of godly interventions to prove who is chosen to be leaders. But you've just had the earth widening its mouth and swallowing somebody. You've just had fire come from the heaven. A flowery staff is what's going to change everything? Seems to me that there are really two separate issues here. The godly intervention till now has proven who should work in the Mishkan, who should work in the tabernacle, who should be the priest. But there's yet another question. Not just who should be the priest, but who should be the leader. The staff flowering, the staff filling with flowers, the staff choosing Aaron is showing that Aaron was not only chosen to be the priest, but rather also to be the leader. And perhaps this is the first instance in history of separation between church and state. The church had its own proof, godly fire, Korach being swallowed up. State now has to have its own proof. The staff choosing, God choosing through the staff who the leader should be. And the separation of church and state shows us two types of leadership. What's interesting is that both are godly inspired. Unlike what we think that there should be church and state, secular and holy, separate. No, both are godly inspired. Both leaders are chosen by God to serve the people towards God in different ways. The Mikdash, having priests, bringing forward their mincha, their offerings. In state, having leaders, going to Eretz Yisrael, fighting wars. Both have to be chosen by God. And in fact, it's not just now happening, but throughout Jewish history, that's how we see it always. We have the house of Aharon being the priests forever, chosen by God. And we have the house of David being the kings forever, again, chosen by God. And in fact, in Shmoneh Esrei, we turn to God and ask, we need judges. Return our righteous judges, but we need God to return our judges. In the sense, we need a divine intervention both in church and in state, realizing the big difference between the two, but asking for God's guidance in both. Shabbat Shalom.
אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא.